Beneath the oldest mountains of the world, sealed in silence, the dragon Arguron slept. Stone had fused with scale. Snow covered his spine like moss. He had become part of the mountain. But he was not dead. He was waiting. Across his massive body, thousands of closed eyes were embedded in the armor of his hide. Arguron needed no words, no roars. He was the silent watcher. His purpose was not to destroy, but to see everything. And when the time came, to awaken. Far above, Olympus towered over the sky. The marble halls of the gods rose among clouds. The immortals moved across its colonnades, proud, beautiful, eternal. Zeus stood at the center. His muscular form was motionless beneath shifting skies. Storm-gray eyes searched the earth below. He was watching for Io. She was a mortal priestess, chosen by the gods for nothing. No power, no bloodline. She moved through the temple gardens as if she had always belonged there. Zeus was in love, and Hera knew. In a chamber lit only by soft silver fire, Hera stood alone. Her face was pale, her gaze was unflinching and still. She did not curse the mortal girl. She made a choice. She leaned toward one of her silent attendants, a shadow-robed figure who had followed her since the old wars. With a whisper, she gave the order. The attendant vanished into the high passes, carrying the command through wind and stone. And in the cold silence of the cliffs, he called the ancient name that had not been spoken aloud in an age, Arguron. On a mountain slope far from Olympus, the wind stopped. The trees bent, birds scattered, the stone cracked. Arguron stirred. His massive eyes began to open, first one, then dozens, then hundreds. His body lifted from the cliffside. The wings unfolded, wide enough to cast shadow over an entire valley. Below, in a distant clearing, a white cow stood in the grass. Its eyes were wide. Its coat glowed in the last light of day. It was Io. To protect her, Zeus had transformed her into this shape and hidden her far from Olympus. But Arguron found her. He slithered through the air without sound, his body weaving between mountains. He landed in the meadow without a word. His 1,000 eyes turned toward her, blinking in eerie, quiet rhythm. She had nowhere left to hide. Zeus stood beneath the great dome of storms. Lightning flashed behind him, but he did not raise his hand. The ancient laws bound him. He could not confront Hera directly, but he could send his son, Hermes. He reached his father Zeus with unmatched swiftness, as if the air itself opened the way before his steps. In his gaze shone confidence, and in his words subtlety and wit. He nodded once, then he flew. The valley had already gone quiet. Arguron lay in the grass, watching, unmoving. From the air, Hermes arrived, no disguise, no announcement. He carried a silver flute. He hovered just above the meadow, drifting gently in slow circles, the music beginning with a single clear note. The melody floated down between the trees and over the dragon's armored hide. Arguron didn't move. Then, one by one, his eyes began to close. Dozens shut, then hundreds. His breathing slowed. The flute never stopped. Hermes descended, the last eye shut. He stepped forward, landing lightly on the grass. From beneath his cloak, he drew a blade. He stepped between the coils and raised the weapon. The strike was precise. It cut deep, between the armor plates of the dragon's chest. Arguron's body reacted, but it was too late. The spell had worked. The lullaby had sunk too deep. The dragon let out one long, trembling breath and collapsed. His wings fell flat against the valley. The eyes, all of them, dimmed. Arguron, the eternal watcher, had fallen. In that moment, Io's form began to shift. The white cow vanished. Her human body returned barefoot, shivering, breathless. Zeus saw it from the clouds. He lowered his arm. The lightning in his palm faded. But Hera stood nearby. She approached the dragon slowly, saying nothing. She looked at him without triumph. She reached into the scales of his back and retrieved the last of the eye gems. No longer glowing, but smooth and pale. She wrapped them in violet silk and held them to her chest. She had come to preserve what remained. Later, in the golden courtyard of Olympus, a peacock stood on a stone railing. Hera opened the silk. She scattered the gems into the bird's feathers with a soft breath. The jewels settled along its long tail, dozens of them. The bird lifted its head, spread its tail, and turned to the Sunday. The eyes of Arguron had not disappeared. They had only changed shape.